Most people wait until their body screams before they listen. But your liver, it's been whispering for years. In just 7 days, you can begin to reset what decades of stress, food, and emotion have damaged. Watch until the end. The final shift is what most people never do. And that's why they stay stuck. To speak of detoxification, we must first understand what it is we call a poison. We have this idea in our modern culture that a toxin is something external. It is the chemical in the food, the pollution in the air, the additive in the water. And yes, these things are not without their effect. They place a burden on our physical structure, on this vehicle we have been given to navigate our lives. The liver, this incredible organ, works tirelessly to filter, to process, to protect us from these external inputs. But to focus only on this is to miss the entire point. It is like trying to clean a river by only picking out the plastic bottles, while ignoring the factory upstream that is dumping chemicals directly into the water. The true poison, the one that does the most profound damage, is generated from within. What is this internal poison? It is our unprocessed emotions. It is the anger we swallow down, the frustration that we do not express, the stress that we carry in our shoulders and in our gut day after day. These are not just feelings, they are biochemical realities. When you feel a surge of anger, a wave of deep-seated stress, your body releases a cascade of hormones. These are powerful chemicals designed for immediate short-term survival. But when we live in a state of chronic anger, chronic stress, chronic resentment, we are constantly bathing our internal organs in these potent chemicals. This is the upstream factory. This is the true source of the poison that makes us feel so heavy, so sluggish, so stuck. You see, the body and the mind are not separate. They are one integrated system. An emotion is not just in your head, it is a full body experience. The ancient wisdom traditions have known this for thousands of years. They understood that an emotion like anger, when it is not allowed to move through us and be released, will stagnate. It gets stuck. And the primary organ associated with the stagnation of this life force, this energy, is the liver. So when we talk about detoxifying the liver, we cannot simply talk about drinking a special tea or eating a certain vegetable. That is only cleaning the bottles from the river. We must go to the source. We must learn to work with the very factory of our mind that produces these emotional states. The first step in any true purification is always awareness. It is to simply begin to notice. To notice the feeling of tightness when your boss sends you a critical email. To notice the heat that rises in your chest when you are stuck in traffic. To notice the heavy sinking feeling of resentment when you think about a past hurt. We do not need to judge it. We do not need to fix it in that moment. We simply need to acknowledge it, to say, ah, there it is, that is the feeling. This simple act of seeing, of acknowledging, is the first step in stopping the factory from dumping its poison blindly into our river. It is the beginning of taking back our own power and starting a process of cleaning that is deep, meaningful, and truly transformative. It is not a 7-day fix, but the start of a lifetime of clarity, inner harmony. The concept of inner harmony is not just a beautiful idea. It is a biological necessity for health. Our body is a self-regulating system that is always striving for balance, for what scientists call homeostasis. But this balance is easily disturbed. Imagine your energy, your life force, or what in the Shaolin tradition we might call qi, as water flowing through a network of rivers and streams. When this water flows freely, there is vitality. The fields are nourished, the land is vibrant, life flourishes. This is the state of health. But what happens when a dam is built or when logs and debris fall into the river? The flow becomes blocked, the water becomes stagnant, murky, and behind the dam a tremendous pressure builds up. This is the state of disease. The emotion most associated with this kind of stagnation, with this blockage of energy, is anger, frustration, irritation, resentment. These are all shades of the same energetic pattern. When we experience these feelings, we are, in effect, building a dam within our own body. The energy that should be flowing freely, that should be nourishing our organs and tissues, gets stuck. It pushes against the blockage, creating heat, creating pressure, creating inflammation. The liver, in many wisdom traditions, is seen as the general of the body, responsible for ensuring the smooth and orderly flow of this energy. When we are chronically angry or frustrated, we are making the general's job impossible. We are tying its hands. This is why you might notice that when you are feeling irritable or stressed for a long period, you develop physical symptoms. Perhaps you get tension headaches, perhaps your digestion becomes sluggish, or you feel a tightness in your chest and shoulders. This is not your imagination. This is the physical manifestation of stagnant energy. The pressure is building up behind the dam, and it is beginning to overflow and cause problems in other areas of the system. A so-called liver detox that does not address this emotional dam is like trying to dynamite a blockage in a river without stopping the people who are throwing the logs in. You might clear it for a day, but the blockage will simply return. So, the practice of creating inner harmony begins with learning how to manage this flow. It means we must become conscious dam keepers. This does not mean we should never feel anger. Anger is a natural human emotion. It is a signal, a messenger that tells us a boundary has been crossed or a need is not being met. The problem is not the anger itself, but our relationship to it. Do we allow it to become a permanent structure, a dam of resentment that we reinforce every day with our thoughts? Or do we learn to see it, to feel it, to understand its message, and then to consciously dismantle the blockage and let the river flow again? This is the work. It is the subtle internal art of self-mastery. By learning to soften our inner landscape, by letting go of old grievances, and finding constructive ways to process our frustrations, we are doing more for our liver health than any diet or supplement could ever achieve. We are restoring the natural harmonious flow of life within us. Mindful nourishment. Now let us speak about nourishment. When we use the word detox, the mind immediately jumps to food. What to eat, what not to eat. We search for lists of good foods and bad foods, for a magic protocol that will cleanse us in a few days. This approach, while well-intentioned, is rooted in a mindset of conflict. It is a battle against food, a restriction, a punishment for past choices. True nourishment comes from a place of peace, not war. It is about cooperation with your body, not a fight against it. The most powerful change you can make to your diet has nothing to do with what you eat, but how you eat. It is the shift from unconscious consumption to mindful nourishment. Think about how most of us eat. We are in a hurry standing over the kitchen sink. We are sitting in front of a screen, our attention completely absorbed by a show or by our work. We are scrolling through our phones, our minds a million miles away from the plate in front of us. In these states, our body is in a mode of stress, of fight or flight. The digestive system is not prioritized. Blood flow is directed to the limbs and the brain, ready for action. We are essentially telling our body, this is not a safe time to rest and digest. And so, even if we are eating the most perfect organic healthy meal, our body cannot receive it properly. The food is not broken down effectively, nutrients are not absorbed optimally, and the process creates a burden on our system, especially the liver, which has to deal with the aftermath. The practice of mindful nourishment is a simple but profound shift. It is the decision to be fully present with your food. Before you eat, take a moment. Take 1, 2, 3 slow, deep breaths. This simple action signals to your nervous system that you are safe. It shifts you from the fight or flight mode to the rest and digest mode. Look at your food, see the colors, the textures, smell the aromas. Acknowledge the long journey this food has taken to reach your plate, the sun, the earth, the water, the people who grew it and prepared it. This cultivates a sense of gratitude, which is a powerful medicine for the body and the mind. When you take a bite, chew slowly, really taste it, notice the sensations in your mouth. When it comes to the what, simplicity is key. The liver appreciates warmth and ease. Think of foods that are gentle and easy to digest. Warm cooked meals are often more supportive than an abundance of cold, raw foods, which can be difficult for the digestive system to handle, especially if it is already weakened. Simple soups, steamed vegetables, gentle grains. Think of foods that are naturally cleansing without being harsh, like leafy greens, beets, or a little bit of lemon in warm water. It is not about a radical diet. It is about reducing the burden. For these 7 days, Perhaps you can choose to reduce or eliminate the things that you know in your own body create heaviness: processed foods, excessive sugar, alcohol, heavy fried meals. This is not a punishment. It is an act of kindness. It is giving your liver and your entire system a much-needed rest. It is creating a space for healing to occur naturally. Conscious movement. The body is designed to move. A sedentary life is a stagnant life. We have spoken of the liver's role in ensuring the smooth flow of energy and how emotions like anger can block this flow like a dam in a river. Movement is one of the most direct and powerful ways we have to break up this stagnation and get the river flowing freely again. But here again, our modern mindset can lead us astray. We often think of exercise as a form of punishment, a high-intensity battle to crush a workout, to burn calories, to push ourselves to the absolute limit. While there is a place for vigorous activity when our goal is purification and the release of stagnation, a more conscious and gentle approach is required. Imagine the stagnant energy in your body as mud that has settled at the bottom of a pond. If you jump into the pond with great force and thrash about violently, you will only stir up the mud, making the water even cloudier. You will not clear the pond, you will just create more chaos. The goal is not to create more stress and tension in a system that is already overburdened. The goal is to gently encourage flow, to invite the blockages to dissolve, to coax the stagnant energy to move on. This is the principle behind practices like Qigong, Tai Chi, or even very mindful, gentle yoga or walking. These are not about building muscle or achieving peak cardiovascular performance. They are about moving energy. When you practice conscious movement, your attention is directed inward. You are not focused on an external goal, but on the internal sensations. As you move through a gentle, flowing sequence, you can begin to feel where the tension is held in your body. Perhaps it is a tightness in your hips, a stiffness in your neck, or a sense of being constricted around your rib cage. You do not force these areas to open. You simply bring your awareness and your breath to them as you move. The combination of gentle physical motion and focused, relaxed breathing acts like a warm current of water, slowly and patiently dissolving the blockage. It is a communication with your body, a conversation. Try this. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, your knees slightly bent. Let your arms hang loosely at your sides, and just begin to gently twist from your waist, letting your arms swing freely and tap against your body. Close your eyes. Do not force anything. Just feel the rhythm of the movement, the gentle momentum. Feel the breath moving in and out of your body. This simple practice, done for just a few minutes, begins to move the energy that gets stuck in the core of the body, right where the liver resides, or simply go for a walk in nature. But do not walk with your phone listening to a podcast. Walk with the intention of being present. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the air on your skin. Swing your arms. Allow your body to move as it was designed to. This kind of movement is a profound act of cleansing. It wrings out the tension from your tissues and reminds your entire system what it feels like to be fluid, to be free, to be in flow. Stillness practice. We have explored the importance of conscious movement to break up stagnation. Now, we must explore its opposite and its perfect complement, the practice of stillness. This may seem like a paradox. How can we purify by doing nothing? But in the space of stillness, the most profound work is done. If conscious movement is like gently stirring the river to get things flowing, stillness is what allows all the sediment, all the mud and debris that was stirred up to slowly, naturally settle. It is in the quiet that clarity emerges. Without this practice, we are just moving the chaos around. We are not truly cleaning the water. Our minds are constantly in motion. We are thinking, planning, worrying, remembering, analyzing. This constant mental activity is exhausting. It consumes a tremendous amount of our energy, and it perpetuates the states of stress and anxiety that contribute to the creation of internal toxins. The practice of stillness, of meditation, is not about stopping your thoughts. That is an impossible task, and trying to do so only creates more tension. It is about changing your relationship to your thoughts. It is about stepping back and simply observing the activity of your mind without getting caught up in it, without being carried away by every single thought and emotion that arises. Find a comfortable position. You can sit on a cushion on the floor, or you can sit in a chair with your feet flat on the ground. The most important thing is that your spine is upright but not rigid. Let your body be relaxed. Close your eyes and simply bring your attention to your breath. Feel the sensation of the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs. Feel the sensation of your abdomen rising and falling. Your mind will wander. This is what minds do. A thought will arise, a memory, a plan for later today. When you notice that your attention has drifted, gently, without any judgment or frustration, guide it back to the sensation of your breath. That is the entire practice. Each time you guide your attention back, it is like a single repetition of a deep internal exercise. You are strengthening the muscle of awareness. In these moments of stillness, you give your nervous system a profound gift. You are allowing it to shift out of the chronic, low-level fight or flight mode and into the parasympathetic state of rest and digest, or as we can also call it, rest and heal. This is the state where the body does its best work. It is where cellular repair happens. It is where the liver can function optimally without being bombarded by stress hormones. By sitting in stillness for just 10 or 15 minutes each day, you are creating the ideal internal environment for your body to cleanse and rebalance itself. You are allowing the mud to settle. You are letting the water of your consciousness become clear. And from that clarity, you can see the root of your patterns, the source of your frustrations, and the path toward a more peaceful way of being. Stillness is not an empty state. It is a state full of healing potential. Emotional release. We have now arrived at the heart of the matter. We can eat well, we can move our bodies, we can sit in stillness, but if we do not learn how to work with the powerful emotions that are at the root of the imbalance, we will always be swimming against the current. The liver, as we have said, is deeply connected to anger, frustration, and resentment. To truly support it, we must find a healthy way to process and release these emotions. The common approaches are suppression and uncontrolled expression. Suppression is when we swallow the anger, pretend it is not there, and push it down deep inside of us. This is the direct cause of stagnation. Uncontrolled expression is when we explode, lashing out at others or at ourselves. This creates damage in our relationships and often leaves us feeling guilty and even more frustrated. Neither is a skillful path. There is a third way. It is the way of mindful acknowledgement and release. It is a practice of courage because it requires us to turn toward our difficult feelings instead of running away from them. When you feel the heat of anger or the tightness of frustration begin to rise, the first step is to pause. Instead of reacting immediately, just pause. Take a single conscious breath. This pause is your space of freedom. It is the moment where you can choose a different response. The second step is to turn your attention inward and simply name what you are feeling. This is anger. This is frustration. There is a feeling of being stuck. Just label it gently in your own mind. This simple act of naming creates a little bit of distance. You are no longer completely consumed by the emotion. You are the one who is observing the emotion. Now, the third step. Instead of getting caught in the story behind the anger, he shouldn't have said that. This is so unfair. Bring your attention to the physical sensations of the emotion in your body. Where do you feel the anger? Is it the heat in your chest, a tightness in your jaw, a clenching in your fists, a churning in your stomach? Just explore these physical sensations with a curious and open attention. Do not try to make them go away. Do not judge them as bad. Just feel them. Breathe into them. Imagine your breath moving into those tight areas, creating space around them. What you will often find is that when you meet these physical sensations with your calm, steady awareness, they begin to change. They soften, they lose their intensity, they begin to dissolve. This is not a one-time fix. It is an ongoing practice. It is like learning to surf. The waves of emotion will always come. We cannot stop the ocean, but we can learn to ride the waves instead of being crushed by them. You can also use other methods for release. Writing down all of your angry thoughts in a journal and then safely tearing it up or burning it can be a powerful ritual. Physical release, like punching a pillow or going for a hard run with the intention of releasing the energy, can also be beneficial. The key is that the release is conscious. You are choosing to move the energy out of your system in a way that does not harm yourself or others. This is the art of emotional alchemy. You are taking the raw, potentially destructive energy of anger and transforming it into a catalyst for self-awareness and liberation. This is how you truly, deeply cleanse your system from the inside out. Lasting purity. We come now to the final and most important understanding. The idea of a 7-day detox can be a wonderful catalyst, a powerful way to begin a new journey and reset our relationship with our body and mind. But if we see it as the destination, we have missed the entire point. True health, true purity is not an event. It is a process. It is not something you achieve in 1 week and then you are done. It is a way of living. The 7 days are not the cure, they are the training. They are the period in which you practice the skills that will serve you for the rest of your life. The real goal is not to have a clean liver. The real goal is to live a clean life. A life of awareness, of harmony, of conscious choice. Everything we have discussed, understanding the nature of poison, cultivating inner harmony, practicing mindful nourishment, conscious movement, stillness, and emotional release. These are not separate techniques to be applied for a limited time. They are threads to be woven into the fabric of your everyday existence. Lasting purity is found in the small moments. It is in the conscious breath you take before you respond to a difficult email. It is in the moment you choose to go for a gentle walk instead of slumping in front of a screen. It is in the way you chew your food at lunch. It is in the 10 minutes of stillness you gift yourself in the morning. It is in the compassion you show yourself when you feel a wave of frustration. This is the ultimate insight. The detox is not something you do to your body. It is the natural result of removing the obstacles you have been placing in its way. Your body has an innate intelligence. It knows how to heal. It knows how to be pure. It is always striving for this state. Our only job is to stop interfering. We stop interfering by no longer poisoning ourselves with chronic stress and unprocessed emotions. We stop interfering by providing the simple, gentle nourishment and movement the body needs. We stop interfering by giving the mind periods of stillness so the whole system can recalibrate. When we do this, purification happens on its own. It is the natural state. So, as you move beyond these 7 days, do not hold on to a rigid set of rules. Instead, hold on to the principle of awareness, the principle of kindness toward yourself, the principle of flow. The journey of self-mastery is a marathon, not a sprint. There will be days when you forget, days when you fall back into old patterns. And that is okay. The practice is to simply notice and with gentleness, begin again. The power to live a pure and vibrant life is not in a protocol or a product. It has been inside you this entire time. Your task is simply to create the conditions for it to blossom. I've always thought of a detox as just drinking green juice and suffering for a week. This completely changed my perspective. The idea that my own frustration and stress are the real toxins just hit me so hard. I sat in silence for 10 minutes after watching this, just feeling my own breath, and I could literally feel the tension in my jaw and shoulders that I've been carrying for years. It's not about a 7-day challenge. It's about starting a new relationship with myself. Thank you for this wisdom. Day 1 of my new life starts now.